Hey everybody, what's going on? ShabbyDoo here, and today I want to talk to you about the new cave worm weapons that were newly introduced in the Unearthed Research mission that just came out on the Week 15 content update. And boy, are they great. So we obviously talked about the bow in a previous video because I wanted to make sure to emphasize the bow because of how amazing it is, but I want to talk about the others as well. So we'll do a quick overview of the bow in case you didn't see the video, but I'll link it at the end and if you want to see the full thing. But to start off, let's talk about cost. I'll do this all within this screen here. So it's made in the crafting bench. You have to make it to the end of the Unearthed Research mission. The mission will tell you to make these items, and that's when they are unlocked. There's no blueprint requirements. I repeat, no blueprint requirements. You just got to get to this one specific point of the mission. I don't want to ruin it by saying anything more than that. Now, we come into here. All the way at the bottom, we'll see our new items. We've got the cave worm knife, spear, arrows, and the bow. So the bow has a 50% projectile damage, which therefore makes this equal to the tier 3 recurve bow. Now it is a little bit of a steep I don't want to say curve to get this, but you have to do like 15, like you have to do like a dozen missions to make it, because this mission is at the very end of the mission track, like right near the very end. So you've got to do a lot of missions to get here. So if you're a new player, you're not going to be able to make this right away. But if you're seasoned and you've been playing for a while and you've finished all the missions, you just have to do this one mission. You'll be able to have this bow, which just essentially requires you to kill a couple cave worms to make this, because it requires 15 scales and 15 sacks. And now you'll have a tier, effectively the damage of a tier 3 bow with only tier 1 material cost. This is incredibly cheap. Now you've also got cave worm arrows, which will use your leftover worm scales and poison sacks. These craft in batches of 10, so really the material to product cost is really good, and they do 54 to 60 damage, 10% critical. That's 100% chance to poison on hit, and the poison stacks, mind you, and a 20% break chance. So let's compare that to some other arrows here. Let's look at, oh, that's a wooden spear. Let's go to tier 2, and let's look at the flint arrow, right? So 54 to 60. So this is 63 to 74, so not as good as a flint arrow. So let's compare it to the bone arrow. So 54 to 60 and 10%. So it's the same damage output as a bone arrow, but it also has poison. So these could be a really good weapon to farm for and fight your boss monsters with. Anything that requires a boss fight, like killing the mammoth, the cave worm could be good. I don't know if the cave worm has poison resistance. I've never tried it, but if it doesn't, this would be a great way to kill the cave worm, because you just pelt them with arrows, you by yourself or with a team, and you'll just lay on the damage with that poison stack. It's crazy. So a really good arrow overall to go with the bow, but I would only suggest it as a replacement to bone, and if you just have the extra stuff otherwise, because poison damage isn't great until it starts stacking. So maybe if you have troubles with bears, it might be good there as well. Next, we've got the spear. So 49 to 55 melee, 202 to 225 projectile, 10% critical damage, and 100% chance to poison on hit with attacks. Have you seen a pattern yet? So we've got 49 to 55 damage and 200 to 225. So I'm going to assume that's probably equivalent to like a bone spear, right? Yep, so it's pretty much equivalent to a bone spear, but with a poisoning capability. Again, you don't have to use bones for this, so if you do like your spears, I don't know why, I don't like spears, and I don't ever recommend people to use spears, as we all know if you watch my live streams and any videos, but this could actually be pretty decent if you do like the spears. Damage is a little weak, obviously, but you get a little bit of poison out of it, and you don't have to waste your bones, right? So not terrible. It's a good way to spend your extra worm scales and sacks if you just want to throw your spears all willy-nilly, because, well, you'll need to make a bunch of them after you lose them in the ground or inside animals, and the game just refuses to give them to you, right? Moving on from that, we'll take a look at the aesthetics of all these as well and do a little swinging of them. We just want to talk about cost. Next, we've got the cave worm knife. 49 to 55 damage. As you can see, it's the same as the spear, but this will have a much faster attack speed. 28 to 32 projectile, 175% yield from skinning, and 100% chance to poison on hit. So again, if we compare that to, say, the bone knife, 150% actually. So it's actually better than the bone knife for yield. Let's compare it to the iron one. 175%. 200%. So we could call this a tier 1.5 because it has a higher yield than the bone knife, but less yield than the iron knife. Comparatively, what about this? Yeah, that's still better. So not bad at all, right? So let's go outside just so we can, you know, have a little ambiance here and look at some things. Beautiful. So let's look at the damage of this. This will obviously kill something, but let's see if we can hit. So I just want to first just kind of look at this. Just look at the bow. It looks so good. And then we got the arrow here as well. Looking great. So let's hit something that's not the rabbit, because that'll die in a single hit. Come here, you. I see you. That's also a rabbit. I just want to make sure I don't get a headshot on this thing because we'll kill it. And I want to see the poison tick. Can we not have all these bushes here? It's going to kill it anyway. It's too much damage. I shouldn't have crouched, actually. Oh, well. We get the point, though. It's got the same damage as a bone arrow, but with a little bit of poison tick on it. So if you shoot someone like, you know, a friend, you'll deal some poison damage as well. It's only a 20% chance to break, so it's not terrible either. So let's take a look at the spear next. Look how cool it looks already. Let's go out into the picture mode here and take a good look at this thing. Look at it. It's freaking beautiful. Look at the scales on this thing. The wood even looks good. It's all nice and worn out. And then we've got like the nice razor teeth there on the spear. That would make it very hard to pull your spear out when you threw it in someone, though. So not great for poking, great for throwing, though. So let's go back in here. So, you know, we've got the same damage as the regular one. Ooh, hold on. Here we go. We'll smack this guy with it. Come here, you. Hello, wolf. I don't want to hit you in the head. I don't want to hit it in the head. There we go. So you can see it's taking some poison damage there. Not a lot, but... And there we go. 214 with the spear. Not too shabby. And, of course, you can throw the spear. And break your walls, because, you know, it does about 200 damage, so it's not bad for damage either. But, you know, how I feel about the spears, they're just wildly inaccurate at any sort of range. Look at that. That was way off. And it's floating in midair. So, you know, that's how we always feel about that. And then, lastly, did I make... Oh, I have two spears. Okay, let's see if we can hit the rabbit. Lucky throw! Hold on, I got one more. Aim higher. Uh-oh. It's on the run. All right, it lost us. We lost it. That's all right. Oh, it's right there. So, lastly, we've got the knife. Let's take a look at this thing. Look at it. It just looks like a giant tooth, and I actually love it. I think it looks so good. I think they did an amazing job on the aesthetics of these weapons because, you know, everything else in this game looks pretty crappy, obviously, in my opinion. Like, they look fine, I guess I should say. Not crappy, but, like, these look great. Look at that. Looks so good. Let's throw the spear in here, too. Come on, one more. Just look at them. They look so good. How can you not want that? Let's throw an arrow in here, too. Hey, look at them all. They look so good compared to anything else in this game, in all honesty. So that's the showcase there. We probably don't have anything for the damage, but like you said, if you used a bone knife, that's the damage you're going to get out of it. Nothing crazy, but, you know, better than nothing really, right? I wouldn't really suggest the knife myself because if you go down with an exotic knife, you're not going to need this knife anyways. It's just out there for the memes. That wasn't a bad throw. It's kind of funny. The knife throw is much more accurate than a spear throw. You just got to be a god to land a shot like that. Seeing that one's just way off. It wasn't even close to where I aimed. But all right, guys, if you found this useful, hit that like button down below. Don't forget to leave a comment as well while you're down there. And please do think about hitting that subscribe button as well so you can get back here for that sweet, sweet, shabby content. But all right, guys, as usual, this has been ShabbyDoo, and hope the rest of your day is not too shabby.